are going to be doing a video on a tote bag. This is a present that I got about a year or so ago. It has all the components that we need to be able to make a tote bag. So to start with, we have some white cotton, we have a sewing needle that you can hand sew with, and then we have a little keyring with some knitting wool, which we'll be sorting out onto there later on. Now with this, we were supposed to be using this material like this, but as I was looking through it yesterday, planning this video, I realised that what we needed to make with this material was not going to be big enough. So I had a plan. I had to dig around in my stash of wool, material, and I found some material. So we've got black and we've got grey. What we're going to be doing is using the grey as the outside, the black is going to be the inside. So I've already cut mine to shape. I did that because it would take too much time on the video, unfortunately. It took me about 5 to 10 minutes to get sorted. So what you need to do to be able to cut it to this shape is you need a ruler and either pen, pencil or some chalk that we use. And what I did was I cut it to the measurements on the instructions, which come in the pack. So we'll be following these basically. So first of all, you need to cut your material to 38 centimetres that way, and then 36 centimetres that way. So that is the length and the width of the bag that we're going to be making. So you need both materials the same length. As you can tell, mine are a bit jagged because I don't have the proper cutting tools. If you do anything like this, make sure you get the proper cutting tools. Alex insert a picture here of the material to show what we've done with the lines on it. Okay, so what we are going to be doing next is we need to create a seam allowance. So a seam allowance in sewing is what we use to be able to sew pieces of material together. So if we want to sew, for example, this grey material to this black one, what we'd do is we'd leave a little bit of material for that, so that we don't ruin the whole entire piece of material. So for this bag, what we need to do is create a 1.5 centimetre seam allowance. So what you're going to need, you need a ruler and you're going to need your chalk, pencil or pen. What we're going to do is we're going to go and mark round, all the way round, where lining up the ruler with the edge of the material and marking where our seam allowance will be. And then once we've done all that, we'll join them all together and that will be our seam allowance. So I will insert a picture now of what it looks like afterwards. Right, one thing I will mention, if you struggle trying to line up your material and trying to sort out all the seams, on your sewing machine here, which I'll take a picture of and I'll put it up here, there is a 1.0, 1.5 and 2.0. They're centimetres, and you've got it all on both sides of the needle, so if you ever get stuck, just use them. Okay, now I'm going to show you how we sew on the machine. So we're going to line it, because we're doing a 1.5, we're going to line the edge of the material with the 1.5 line on the machine. So what stitch do I need? Well, my stitch, I think for the seam, we're going to do a number 3 is what we're going to do. Right, so now we're going to sew the seam allowance. So on a sewing machine around this area here, you usually have the sizes. So we've got 1.0, 1.5 and 2. So that's how big you can have your seam allowance. And it's the same on that side in case you're using that side. So I'm going to try and sew mine, keeping my material level with 1.5. That's the plan. So take it slow, take it steady, and just do it nice and gently, okay? There's no need to rush this part. remember to guide the material through. You're not pushing it through, you're literally guiding it, you're helping it. So, like mine has, my material slipped. So what I'm going to do is put my needle down, pull my foot up and rejig it a little bit so that it's back on the right lines. Okay, let's start again. As you get more confident, you can start going quicker on the sewing machine. For me, I've been doing it a few months now, so I'm quite confident with what I'm doing. If you're not confident, just take your time. Slow is always better at times. Okay, lift the foot up, make sure the needle is not too far down. If it is, just pull it up. And then we're going to cut our cotton, like so, and place it behind there. So, that is our first seam done. Wasn't too hard, I hope. But the key is just making sure you keep it lined up. So, as you can see, if I move it to here, in the light, you can see that how our cotton has been. So we're just going to carry on doing that for this set of material and the other set of material. So I'm back with 2 finished seamed pieces of material. So here we go, final seam. Right, we are just going to move the sewing machine to the side for 5 minutes. So we can work out what we need to do next. So, let's have a look at the instructions together, shall we? So, it says, we're on to step 4. Take 1 fabric bag and put your hand into one of the corners. To open it out flat. With the seam down the middle, so pin flat. So first of all we need to press the seams open. If you don't have an iron, you can just use your finger. So what we're going to do is we're going to run, let's say our finger or some scissors or something flat up and down the seams, just to flatten them out so we get a bit more of a straight part to work with. Let me see, my ruler might work. Let's have a look. It's better if you do have an iron to hand, but if you don't worry, just do what I'm doing. It'll take a little time because we've got 2 pieces to do, so there's no rush to do it. Just make sure you go along. And this is where if you've got any excess, you can trim it off and make everything look a bit neater. Okay, so we need to look at this corner to start with. So we need to find the straight edge. So we're going to call that the straight edge, I think. It's probably the best way we can do it. Like that. So what we need to do now is measure with our ruler and our chalk again, or pen or pencil, from the top of the point 5 centimeters. So that is going to be, for me, about there. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a line so we can see that a bit better. Okay, so we have our line there, that is 5 centimeters. So now what we need to do is repeat that on every corner. So we're going to go onto this corner. And this time we're going to fold it again, like that. Place it down flat, like so. And again we're going to measure from the top of the point 5 centimeters, so that's there. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line across again. Like so. Right, okay, I did do a little bit of a mistake, but I managed to rectify it. So when I said about doing the seam allowance, make sure you sew along the first line that you draw. If not, you can do what I'm doing, which is just trying to find where the middle is again and then just sewing along it. Alright, so I'll show you how I do that now. Okay, so I find out this middle point. I make sure all the angles are the same. Make sure that it's inside out as well. That'd help. Let's see. Okay, so what I do is pull it out like this. Do that so that it's nice and flat. And then we're just going to sew it. Doesn't have to be neat or anything. It is literally just to make sure it all stays together. It's as quick as that. Now of course you'll do it a lot neater than me. I am literally just showing you how to do it. Okay, so you will do it a lot neater. So it looks like that basically. So I'll quickly do this other side. And again, just do exactly the same thing. So that is both those taken care of. So what we need to do now is turn both the little bags inside out. Well, back to the right side, should I say. And hopefully you will be able to see the corners have actually made the base, in a sense, of the bag, which is really good. So, our next step, let's go back to our instructions and have a look, shall we? So we've done the corners, so we're on to step 7, which is turning the bags the right side, the right way round, and then placing them one in between, inside the other. So I should have done 2 blacks, 2 greys, but I've been a bit wild. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the grey face of this one onto the grey face, the black face in this bag. So hopefully it should look pretty cool. Hopefully. It will give it, you'll have to give it a minute just to sort of find its way to each other. So give it a shake and just make sure everything's nice and still. So as you can see, we're starting to see a little bit of a bag, eh? We're getting there, we're getting there. Right, now that we've done that, we're on to step 8, which I will read to you. So, what you're going to do is fold the top edge of both bags by 2 centimeters towards the wrong side, and to hide the rugged edges. So, let's start with doing that. So what we can do is we can measure 2 centimeters and then we can pin. Okay, so let's have a look. That there is 2 centimeters. Once you've got a few pinned in, it should be fine. You should get started with it, and it will all fall into place basically. So let's just double check that length again. So always double, triple check your lengths, because you don't want an uneven bag. You really don't want an uneven bag. What might help you more, should I say, is by drawing the line where you need to fold. So for me, I'm just going to put this on because I can't see what I'm doing. So for me, let's have a look. There. So it's there. So I've made a little score mark, so I'm just going to fold that and pin. Pinning it will hold it together so that it's easy to sew later on. Try not to poke yourself, which is what I tend to like doing. And you're just kind of following it round now. As you can see, it will fall itself into the right positions. You just guide it a little bit. And if you want, you can always check and double check the measurements to make sure it is 2 centimeters. So I'll do that now. Let's have a look. That is 2 centimeters, so I'm doing well. So just carry on doing that all the way round. Now that that is finished, we will move on to the next step. So the rest of it is ensure the tops and side seams line up, pin together, press with the iron if you want to. It'll just make it easier for when you're sewing. Number 9, take your cotton tape and cut in half, making 2 75 centimeter lengths. So I have already prepared these. Let me just make sure that these are correct. So 75. No, but I will just make a smaller bag this time. It's not end of the world. So then what you need to do is take one of the pieces, so we'll use this one, poke one end in between the 2 bag pieces. So yeah, my error was I folded it, you shouldn't have. So I'm just pinning where I folded the material, because that was exactly 2. Just so that we can get the straps in. But again, these little tricks you'll pick up tricks to make your own really. So we slot one in between. It's saying 9 centimeters from the seam, so we can measure 9 centimeters. Okay, the final part of this bag is we're literally just sewing around the 2 centimeter bit that we've just pinned and sewing in the straps, and then we're done. So let's do it. Let's do the final push. Just take it nice and steady. There's no rush. Be confident when you're sewing, that's what I will say. So that is that area sewed. Right, now I'm going to do the handles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a cross, just so that it's basically going to stay where it is and it's not going to move. So let me line this up in here. Okay, so I'm going to put the needle down. I'm going to move the material. So we're going to go from there, we're going to go up. Again, needle down, move the material, down, needle down, turn, and then the final one. There we go, so that is the first one done. Right, so that's the first one done, so I will show you the rest of it when it's all done. Okay everyone, so this is the final bag that we've made. So that's really good. So I'm just going to do a quick test. This is my A4 folder. Let's see if it fits in, shall we? The main thing is, it does. And it's not going to break, look at that. So that's fantastic, eh? So, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please like the video. Comment down below anything that you found really good, really bad, anything that's within reason, shall we say. Hit the little bell, that'll notify you when we get new uploads, when we upload new videos. And finally, subscribe. Alright, thanks for watching. See you next time.